Politics as usual. I took my Frito to...
I think we're good.
Alright, we're good. So, we're not using sergeants way at all. As you can tell, we have alcohol and an official setup with mics and my laptop up here. So yeah, this is how we're doing this now. We intended to shoot something completely different, but there was a miscommunication between myself and the Trim staff. But this is Politics as Usual, Episode 3. We are live from Trim Grooming Lounge, 2200 2nd Avenue North. Make sure you log on to 2200trim.com. Cut from one of the fine barbers here.
Make sure you go to AJ's barber and book his. What time do you usually get your haircuts?
Hey,
like,
don't even play.
All right.
don't even.
Yeah,
but see, it's not gonna take me as long now.
This video was recorded Sunday afternoon.
You're gonna be a sad sack if you walk in here looking for my barber on a Sunday. Ain't no none of them being here on a Sunday. I would show my haircut, but I'm in the process of going bald. So,
man, let the hairline show, man. Be proud of it. Like, embrace it.
Nah, man.
You see me, man. I'm living. Like, this is the first video without the hat on.
You might need to come down the same path as me.
Nah, man. I'm holding on to the last moment.
Like Jerry Seinfeld said, man. So sometimes you gotta leave them wanting more.
Nah, I gotta hold on. It's not time yet.
It is. It is. If it's time for me, it's time for you.
Nah, I still got a little bit more room left. Just a little bit more. Once it gets
it's just hard to convince.
Yeah. I mean, look, listen, man. I knew this day was coming. At 17, my hairline was receding. I knew this day was coming. Even though T with his jokes, calling me Unc, and see there, you hear from over there talking trash. But it was funny. I got him out. I was in the chair. I said, "Your hairline receding too." He turned around with quickness. It started checking because he creeping up on 30. He over there like to make his jokes about me being old, but he creeping up on 30. So, I mean, I'm
he over there painting now.
That wasn't me. So I have no idea what we're talking about this episode. We might delve into a little politics. We might talk a little bit.
Let's get into it. It's been a
Politics
very eventful.
from the black perspective.
Yes, it's been a very eventful couple of weeks.
If that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, that's what you want to call it.
I have a question from the audience.
Yeah.
All right.
Why is it that
you there, sir?
a lot of times from the black communities, when it comes to politics and mainstream, we have things we'll say among ourselves, but we won't bring it up in mixed company. Why is that? And regardless of how true it is, we'll just go along to get along without really being honest.
I don't know. I would probably guess that's probably a lingering fear from the 60s and when you saying stuff in public could have very severe consequences for you. I think a lot of us have just been raised to be quiet and, like you said, go along to get along and not really make a fuss.
Yeah, it starts from like childhood, like don't act up in the store, in front of all these.
Be seen and not heard.
So when it comes to like, I guess issues that pertain to us, a lot of people feel like, they don't want to rock the boat too much. I guess they want to just stay safe or like
There's gonna be some consequences.
Right, like they'll state their issue, but they'll frame it in a way that isn't like abrasive. They'll try to make it.
You better be quiet. You don't get here about it.
Right.
Exactly.
Because actually, story. At my old job, this very high ranking we'll just call him manager. He was talking the whole spiel about, I don't see color, I love all people. And then this black lady just intervened. She was like, "You have 2 daughters, right?" He was like, "Yeah. Would you let your daughters bring black man home?" And then he just like stopped in his tracks. And she's like, "Yeah, that's what I thought." So I feel like as a nation we can't progress until we like ask those type of questions or have those type of conversations. Like we shouldn't have to, like try to contain it and try to say it in a friendly way because to
me that brings up another point. Like I hate when people say I don't see color. The problem isn't you seeing color. The problem is you seeing my color and acting against my color. That's the issue. The
Right.
issue isn't you seeing my color at all. That's never been the problem. The problem is you treating me away because of my color. That's why I hate when people say white millennials are the most tolerant generation.
They definitely
They're not. They're actually probably worse off than any other generation because the other generations were aware of racism.
Because who called the cops on the little girl selling water? Some white girl who sold she was selling like
Marijuana.
and CBD oil and
weed products. And
which
all
is
that
another topic altogether. How
Well,
they're
yeah.
profiting off this and
Right.
Yeah.
Black people have been sitting in jail for forever. But yeah, like millennials aren't the most tolerant generation. Millennials are the most entitled generation because they actually think our culture belongs to them. But that's a whole other topic. We touched on cultural appropriation.
we touched on that.
But so just to get with current politics, Kavanaugh's about to be confirmed.
Yeah.
We have a rapist in the White House. And we will have a rapist on the highest court in the land until he dies or feels like he doesn't want to do this shit anymore.
Do you really believe that Trump is a rapist and that Kavanaugh did what he did?
Of course.
Of course.
Trump has 14 allegations of sexual assault. Some of whom are against teenagers,
Right.
teenage girls. Like, so I firmly believe, and Donald Trump's been on tape saying what he does to women. The grab him by the pussy shit. And Kavanaugh, I think the way he reacted.
The
let
way
me
he
know what
reacted,
is.
that was pressing a nerve.
His demeanor was so just
Right.
unbecoming of someone on the highest court in the land. He was such a childish freak.
And Dr. Blasey Ford, she did her due diligence. She took the lie detector test. She was like, I offer myself for an interview if the FBI wants to interview me. But of course they don't want to go through those channels because she's right.
As someone pointed out, this isn't about Kavanaugh being the judge that they want. This is about them fighting back against this idea that their privilege can be checked.
Right, because I'm glad you brought that up because at this point it's not even about Kavanaugh. I feel like under any other administration they would have like pulled Kavanaugh back and submitted another judge. But now it's almost like let's assert our power and show that this will never happen again.
Right.
Like how dare you try to check us?
Exactly. And it's like I saw someone, all the mainstream media newspapers talking about, man, it's a scary time for men to be like falsely accused. Suburban mothers everywhere have to be petrified. And they're like, you mean like Trayvon Martin's mom and Mike Brown's mom, and started naming off all the list of all the young black men who have been killed by police who were presumed guilty and then executed without giving due process, without being given due process. And so it's like, white people are just now figuring out what it's like to be us on a regular basis. And they're fighting back against that assertion, which is why they're fighting so hard. Because they realize that they know what they've been doing to us and they realize it can happen to them. So that's why the push for Kavanaugh is so hard right now, because they're fighting back against this idea that their privilege can be checked.
Is that a part of making America great again, where white men can just do what they want? Like in the 60s, where they could do what they want without the fear of repercussion?
Yeah, because that whole slogan, it derives from the Reagan era, because he had because if you listen to one of his speeches, he actually says something to the effect of "We're going to make America great." So that slogan itself, it's kind of it's covert and overt at the same time, because at the same time, like it's like you could hide behind and say, "Oh, we're making America great," you know. But at the same time, like it's a dog whistle. Like if you hear "Make America Great Again," it takes you back to, and you see the people saying it takes you back to those days, and you recognize what they're saying.
And it's not like white men still can't do whatever the hell they want. It's just that they can't do it out in the open. We're
in a society where people.
They can.
I mean, they can, but
that's being proven.
But it's not even about the Kavanaughs or the politicians of the nation. It's your coworker who can't be chauvinistic in the office anymore, or who can't treat the black coworker the way he wants to. He's the one who's getting on the message boards and typing the messages and saying like, I really wish America was the place it was when I grew up. So that's what "Make America Great Again" means. It takes you back to when black people had to get their food at the back door, and you could and you couldn't sit at the counter. That's what they mean when they say "Make America Great Again." So
yeah, that's basically what they want. And I saw a good point made earlier by someone on Twitter who said if nothing changes in 2 months, Trump's going to have 2 more of these to appoint. So we could be looking at a 7-2.
But I thought Trump winning the presidency didn't mean anything. Or
I'm still laughing at everyone who says that Trump didn't want to win. Because if he didn't want to win, he wouldn't be in the office doing everything that he's doing. Like, I hate when people say, Trump, I don't think Trump wanted to win the president. Why would you think that?
well,
He had every opportunity to drop out long before he got to the...
Right.
If anything, Trump wants to be the last president
Exactly.
yeah,
ever to.
exactly.
I firmly
He wants to
believe...
be able to, and I tell people all the time, we better ask ourselves, why is it that he's kissing up to
The dictators. of the
dictators,
world.
where he's communist and all of this, and people that's, like we were saying, you know, the Putins and the Kim Jong-uns and all.
Yeah.
Could it be that they're actually talking about some where he's trying to strategize and put something together where they will become an ally of his to overtake our government?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, I mean, unless the Democrats take back the Senate, the whole Congress in a major way, he's not going to get impeached. And
No.
by the time 2020 rolls around, we could be having a sham of an election like they do in Russia.
Yeah.
Is
Every
that
so
even
often.
possible for our government to be overtaken?
Yeah,
You think?
because our government has no teeth.
I mean, cause think about it. A lot of people don't know this, but our government was kind of founded that way. Like, people think the articles and the Constitutional Convention happened.
We
That,
overtook a system
Right.
that the
People-
British had.
like, they were writing the Constitution by candlelight, and they were like, okay, this government doesn't work, so here's a government that does work. We got together the best delegates. We put together 2 plans of how the country should work, and they put that into the Constitution, and that became the country we know. Like a lot of people think those 2 situations happen like separately, but they happen during the same time concurrently. And if people knew that, it would kind of make you question, like, wait, was there like a soft overthrow of a government? we had?
Yeah, there was. There
A
absolutely.
government that had hundreds of years of power.
Well, no, we're talking about
Well-
from when the Declaration happened to when the Constitution.
Right.
So
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got between the end of the Revolutionary War and when George Washington was inaugurated in 1789.
Yeah.
So you're
I
talking.
guess I'm talking about the colonies.
Right,
where they
right, right.
overtook
Oh, well, yeah.
themselves from
Right.
a colony.
Well, we're
Think
talking about
they
when we-
overtook themselves from an established monarchy. They overtook that government and just said, "Hey, man, we're through with you."
Yeah.
Right, and then we had the Articles of Confederation, which basically had each state as like its own country governing its own way, and we basically overthrew that with
And
the
then you
Constitution.
had like a president, but not quite a president, but he didn't have more power than, he didn't have as much power as the states, so they overruled him. And so the thing with that is, I think what we're seeing is like the slow decay of, like, I'm using this loosely, democracy. Like, it starts on the local level, then it's going to go on the state level, then it goes all the way up the chain, and then that's why I get so discouraged when I hear people say, like, why does it matter if I vote? It does matter. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't try so hard to take your vote away. So,
or they wouldn't gerrymander
Right.
the hell out of situations to make sure
Right.
that black populations can't get 2 representatives in Congress, or heavily Latino populations can't get more than 1 representative at any given time. And that's what they're doing. Like, what we're witnessing now is that our government has been ran on basically trust. And there's very little. He and I argued about this when
Just
Trump.
like our fiat money.
Right. He and I argued.
Power.
We argued about this when Trump got elected.
Oh, yeah, we had some, yeah.
I said the executive branch of government needs to be split. There should be more than 1 person, because you can't ever have someone with that much power. Because where the framers of the Constitution messed up is they wrote everything about the Congress and everything about the judiciary branch, but nothing about the executive branch.
And
So
the only
loose
thing
constructionists have slowly added power.
and the
where there was
only
probably
thing about
never
the
meant to be
executive
power.
branch was the main person who could have been like America's first king was like, I don't think the executive branch should have that much power, and that's pretty much all that
Right.
the executive branch says.
I'm sitting here listening to you guys, and I'm having the thought of, where do we fit in this whole grand scheme of things? Because it sounds like it's something going on that has nothing really to do with us.
I mean, when you think about
mean-
it, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
'Cause I'm about to go real militant.
like basically,
Listen to you guys.
basically
listen to what we just got to saying. It has nothing to do with us.
basically
It
like
does, but it doesn't.
It's like we're on the sideline spectating. What
Yeah.
But this is
Because I was
a
about to say
reaction
that-
to what we could.
I'm about to say the analogy I'm gonna use, like, let's say you're in that that manhole right there, and you're on the ground. You don't know if it's raining or not, and I feel like there's black people in America. Like, we've been disenfranchised for so long that a lot of these problems don't hit the inner city, don't hit urban areas, so it really doesn't affect us. But now we're in a place where there's like about to be widespread change once again. Like I said, the total decay of democracy. So it's about to really affect people more than they know. So, and
Get a passport while you still
right, and that's why I'm so glad that people turn, and I hope they do it again in this in November. But that's why I'm so glad that people got out to vote for Doug Jones. People went and felons, who usually say like, oh man, this doesn't affect me, or people like he really touched like the project communities. They got out and vote. So I'm glad that people are starting to realize like, okay, these issues do affect us. But like I said, I think day to day, you can have so much other stuff to worry about that you don't really consider. Like, okay, like why should I care about who's on the Supreme Court? Well, you would care
when voting rights get gutted.
And
Right.
now the militant guy.
I mean, ideally, this would be a moment where black people are like, hey, we need to really be consolidating in our own communities right now. We need to really be strong in our local communities, voting and electing people, electing district attorneys and mayors and people who can enact things at the local level that soften the blow of what they're doing at the federal level.
That's actually quite tame. I thought when you said military guy.
Oh, no.
Because I actually agree. I agree with everything. I'm getting there. Okay, build it up. Okay.
So it's a subtle buildup because what happens is if you live, all right. So I lived in North Carolina when Trump got elected. Wasn't a rich area where a lot of black and Latino people where I lived at, but there were a few lower income Republicans. I'll use that term. When Trump got elected, I saw 3 pickup trucks roll through my neighborhood with Confederate flags waving. And you know what I thought? Boy, if I lived in the hood, they wouldn't be doing this. I use that as an analogy of when you live largely by your own people, you don't have to worry about things like that. They did that not because the black people were there, but because the Latino people were there, because the Mexican people were there. They did that because the Mexican people were there. It was their way of saying, we got y'all ass.
Yeah, it's like their back is straining, they're walking with their chest poked out.
Right.
It's like just to show you like, okay,
Right.
like things are about to go back to the old way.
So that is the reason, like, people always ask me, why do I live currently in a predominantly black area? And I always say, because I don't got to worry about dealing with no idiots that Trump has emboldened.
And also because traffic isn't that bad where you live.
That too.
But
But
that too. And the best wing spots. But sorry, we're getting off on the
But
tangent. Yeah.
that's one of the main reasons I choose to live around black people is because when you deal with an administration like this, not only do the police become more emboldened, not only do your neighbors become more emboldened, but they start putting rules in place that make it harder for you. They're less covert about the things that they do. So ideally, this would be a moment where black people would take a look in the mirror and be like, okay, maybe I don't need to live out in that predominantly white area because because my neighbors now who might have been a little more tolerant of my presence, not accepting but tolerant of your presence when someone like Barack Obama was president, now they looking like, oh, I don't gotta tolerate your ass being here.
All right.
So that to me is and I get it, people want the quote unquote good schools. We could have a whole discussion about why good schools are a myth and all of that, but ideally, this would be a moment where black people would look in the mirror and say, okay, they finna rip each other apart. I don't need to be anywhere near this. We could be using this time while the rest of the country is ripping itself apart to build ourselves up and be able to come out on top of things when the dust settles.
And I think we're slowly coming to that realization.
Now, who is ourselves?
Black people.
Yeah.
What part of? Because you got to remember now, there's a subculture among us. Our subculture is not like the white subculture.
Right.
They're kind of protected by white mainstream media, white mainstream politics. Our subculture, we have to come in and watch out. We understand how to deal with them, but they are a part of the system. You can't convince them to be a part of the system because they've learned how to survive in this subculture. What percentage of this group is a part of us when you're talking about us? What do you think? Our subculture makes up what percentage of our whole as us being black?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Because there's a subculture that we're affected by that we can't ever get our numbers to come right because we can't get Pookie them to come out and do right. Pookie is the dope boy. He the man. Why is he going to come and participate in this system that's going to overlook him?
And I guess it goes back to kind of what I said about people getting out to vote for Doug Jones. I don't think like you could take any demographic and break down like white people. You could say, okay, if they make over $65,000 a year, they'll probably vote this way or that way. You can't really do that with black people because
that's not true what you just said.
no, I'm not. No.
Because in the white culture, they have more poor whites are voting.
No. They are. But what I'm saying, the demographics are broken down like are sliced more
It
evenly.
should be.
Yeah, but I'm saying with us.
Whiteness, trust me, they're voting on their whiteness.
Right. No, I agree with that.
He's saying with us, it's not as predictable.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Because what I'm saying is like you can't say this. Basically, all black people mostly vote blue. Like no matter how much you make or how little you make. So what I'm saying is it's not broken down into like class or like education level. We basically have to. It's almost like an awareness issue. You just have to. Yeah, you just have to make people more aware because, like I said, we've been so disenfranchised so long that these like a lot of the issues don't make it to that part of the city.
And I think how you communicate it to the dope boy, maybe not the heavy dope boy, but maybe how you communicate it to your local weed kingpin is, hey, these local elections can determine whether or not what you do is legal. Because the things going on in California and Washington and Colorado, it used to be if you in banking you could not take, even after marijuana was made legal in these states, you could not take the funds from selling marijuana and put it
into bank.
Into
they have to transport it to storage units.
Exactly. They could not put that money into the banking system at all. That recently changed before Barack Obama went out of office. Now you can. That's an example of local politics affecting things on the national level. So all we have to do, and you and I have had these conversations before, all we have to do is take it to them and put it in terms that they understand. Hey, listen, you may not have to worry about jail time if you would actually get out and vote. Like, you may not have to worry about those things if you actually...
Hey, Brandon, what's going on? I got a question. What's that?
No, go ahead.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. You are perfect.
Go ahead.
You're perfect.
Go ahead.
You won't stop. You wouldn't. But yeah, they might have to worry about those things that actually got out and voted because that's local politics affecting things on the national level. So for me, it's more about how do we get out there and communicate these things. Like you and I have had these conversations with my current job. I encounter, well, I wouldn't say I encounter, but I witness a lot of things of poor, disenfranchised urban teens doing things because they don't want to go get a job. Scamming, basically. And to me, that speaks to a mindset of entrepreneurship. Yeah. So, like, what would happen if we were actually out here instead of just telling these young kids, hey, go get a job? If we were like, hey, all the people, the quote-unquote talented 10th, even though I hate that term.
I hate that term so much.
But the
entire episode within itself.
The best and brightest of us, those of us who have made it out, who have made something of ourselves, who have decent jobs, who have skills. If we actually went into these neighborhoods and started teaching kids how to put together a business plan, or started teaching them skills, exposed them to different professions.
Right.
A barber came in, an electrician came in, a plumber came in,
Right.
coders came in.
Exactly.
People who do things that can directly translate to a skill that you don't necessarily need a college degree for, and you don't have to go get into debt for it. We started doing things like that.
That's a hustle. That's a hustle.
And what I'm saying is there are a lot of kids in these neighborhoods who know how to hustle. They just don't have anything to hustle. So if we started actually teaching them things, in addition to showing them how to put together a business plan, maybe that curbs some of it. Because like one of the things I hate on Twitter is when people get to talking about owning a business. And of course, every black person with a job, everyone isn't meant to own a business. Yeah, we get it. Everyone isn't meant to own a business. But if I take 10 kids and teach all 10 of them how to run a business, and only one of them is successful, what do you think? Do you think the other 9 are going to be more or less likely to support someone running their own business? I would probably say more, because they understand what it goes into to run a business. So when black people complain about dealing with black businesses, maybe they would understand it if they had had the experience of running their own at some point.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean.
And that doesn't mean everyone needs to.
That
run
doesn't
their
mean
own.
put the Martin logo on your.
Well, right. Yeah. Let's
pull over.
Yeah, let's stop with the.
But no, seriously,
expensive T-shirts. But
if it's a black business, I go out my way.
I go out my way to. I go out of my way to support black-owned business. I try my best to find black people doing things, because to me, Jay-Z said on 444, financial freedom or only up. Well, obviously the Jay-Z's of the world ain't in the hood pumping their money in like we would like them to. I ain't gonna say they ain't doing nothing. So Jay-Z and Beyonce put a lot of their money out here.
Somebody from my hometown got the Beyonce scholarship.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like I think Beyonce opened up like an apartment complex for like single mothers.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But like, not everybody's out here is work done in like buying black people houses.
Right.
Like yearly. Like he goes out of his way to buy black people houses. So we can talk that black owned business stuff, but there needs to be more skill behind it. I use the 1 in 10 example to say, if that one person's business is successful because the other 9 are supporting it, that one person can hire those other 9.
Yeah, and then it just branches out. It's like
Exactly.
like a tree. Yeah.
Exactly. It only takes one business being successful for people to realize and for it to have an influx in your community. Because guess what? Business taxes go towards schools, good schools. Business and property taxes are what fund schools. So if you're in an area with no businesses and no people owning property, of course your schools are going to suck. You moving to that white neighborhood isn't going to change anything, because when you, by virtue of more black people living there, the property value goes down. Therefore, that good school that you were moving there for, that school is over. Thank you.
Yeah.
When they were literally trying to zone out the school where the people who lived in apartments went. So that's why I say, like, it doesn't make any sense to me when people rail against black. There's nothing. The more black businesses you own, the less you have stories of people not getting jobs or being sent home because of their hair. To where someone whose name Daquan isn't, his name isn't an issue getting him in the door at a job interview. The more you have, the reason we have these issues, the reason we have the code switch is because we're going to work around white people. That's why this is an issue. Right. Black businesses cure that problem to an extent. We're the only community that doesn't do it. The only one. There is a well-known community in Birmingham. I won't say the name of it, but you know which one I'm referencing. Where everyone there is of the same subgroup. You can't buy a house there if you are not in that subgroup.
Yeah. Yeah.
They make damn well sure you are from them or you got enough money to pass as one of them before you can move there or do anything there. They work there, they live there, they grow up there, they raise families there, they rarely ever move from there. I had a homeboy when I lived in North Carolina. He's Korean. I worked with him, and I told him I was moving to Atlanta. He was like, "Oh yeah, we the Koreatown area. Yeah, my family knows people there, blah blah." And I'm like, "That's amazing. Like this dude has connections in every major city by virtue of the fact that the subgroup he's a part of sticks together." So if he decides he wants to move to LA, his parents can probably reach out to someone in LA, at LA's Koreatown, and he's good there. He knows people there. He can go to someone if he needs something or if he runs into trouble. We don't really have that.
Yeah.
Like
everything is so like dispersed and scattered. Like,
well, and not only that, but like we just have this idea that like for us making it is moving to the suburbs where no one else is there.
yeah, I mean, you get sold the American dream, like the best. And I see it more often with like a lot of black men. I hate to say, like the best black man you can be is like a white man.
Oh my God, I tell people this all the time. In jobs, I have never had a black woman try to stop me from advancing, but I've had several black men try to stop me from advancing.
Because they want to be the one.
They want to be the only one in that position that made it, and they see you as like direct competition. Like, we have an issue with quote unquote putting people on. I have zero problem with that. I will put you on in a heartbeat.
Right.
If I got to connect somewhere, I'm going to make sure you got that same connect. Because to me, the more of us there are somewhere, the better I feel.
Exactly.
Like, I realize I'm unique because I won't say where I work, but I work for a very large corporation, predominantly white. My department, all black. It's like 7 white people total. All the supervisors are black, all the team leads are black, well, except for one dude, but he act black.
He won't tell you, but he works at Victor Knives. That's where he works at.
But like when you walk into the
Sorry,
office,
I had to put that out there.
yeah. When you walk into the office, it is a majority of black people. So black people get promoted at an advanced rate compared to the department I was in before, where all the supervisors were white. Nobody in leadership was black. It was hard for you to advance past a certain rate, a certain area. So I'm extrapolating this out to a bigger area, but it doesn't take much to see that when there's black people in an area, black people tend to do that.
And let me pause to state the obvious here. You know, it sucks that it has to even be said. It's like promoting like blackness
Isn't bad.
isn't anti anything
Like
else.
I've had this discussion so many times with people, and it's like, because I'm pro-black, people are like, well, you just don't like white people. That has nothing to do with it. I can give 2 shits less about white people. I'm just pro-black. So you gotta examine why you think me being so pro-black means I'm anti-white.
Like, oh, don't do that in public.
Like even you can get on the timeline and people get so hyped when these white establishments come to Birmingham. Oh man, we got this now. We got this now. I'm like, y'all don't even realize they trying to run y'all out of here. Mm-hmm. They don't want y'all at these establishments. They don't. Trust me. That's put here so more white people will move in. They don't want y'all there. Like, y'all get so hyped about white establishments coming through, and I'm like, why are y'all so against there being black stuff to do in Birmingham? Or just in general. Like, why are y'all so against there being black-owned restaurants and establishments? Because those people are going to employ you, and those people will probably pay you more than the white person will. Just being real.
Probably.
Unless they're bad business, and there's bad business, but people will take a bad experience at a black business and hold that against every single one.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that to me is a problem. Like, sure, there are plenty of people out here in business who shouldn't be in business.
Correct. Correct.
Absolutely correct. Everybody should not own their own business. Everyone is not an entrepreneur. But why do we discourage people from it? Because when you die, what is your company leaving you? What is your company leaving your kids? A life insurance policy if you paid for it? Maybe.
Little do they know I was stealing supplies. I don't have a supply room the whole time, so my kids gonna have like a lifetime supply of staples.
But I mean, like people can say what they want about Dame Dash. Dame Dash is a nutcase. He is a jerk, 1,000%. But that Dame Dash interview was 100%. Well, not 100% correct, but it was correct in a lot of ways. If you own your own business, you inherit that to your family. And studies show the quickest way to increase your wealth in this country is a successful business. Because if you own a business, white people will come in and buy that shit with quickness. Open your ass up a successful business and see how quick there's a rich white man going, hey, can we buy it from you?
Because think about it. Think about how many times you ask the white person what they do for a living and they said something random like tiles, butcher, anything. Throw everything out. And it's because, like, I had a former coworker. Her husband was rich as hell, and guess what he made for a living?
Statues.
door hinges. It's because they came to this country. They were able to find a skill while we were still, busting our back with manual labor, and they honed that skill, passed that on generation to generation to generation, and now along with that, that wealth passed on to generation to generation.
And that clientele passed on from generation to
Exactly.
generation. Because when you go into a lot of these rich neighborhoods, you talk to a lot of these rich people, they do business with the same people. They've had the same family doctor. They've had the same accountant. They've had the same person build their houses. That's stuff passed on. That's wealth passed on. And we ain't passing on wealth because we're taking out 6 figures of debt to go to college to earn 60 grand a year if we're lucky, and go work for a company that ain't really giving us anything. That's how you start off in poverty and you die in poverty. The quickest way to make more money is to own your own business. My head got hacked, so my head got hacked.
We finally have it. The unveiling of the. But no, I feel you on that. But where I come in is when people like do the whole like, oh, we all have the same 24 hours thing.
Oh well, yeah.
Like that part of it.
And understand something. You gotta have the skill. You gotta be able to maximize that skill, and you gotta have business sense. Everybody can't sell t-shirts. Everybody can't sell weed. Everybody can't open an Instagram boutique. But you know where there is a lot of money in, and this is something I learned as a musician, right? Because there are almost nowadays, it seems like there are more people doing music than people consuming music.
Right.
So you know how you want to make money if you want to be in music? Find a way to make money off the musicians, because people that are in music are always gonna have to spend money on it. The artist is the last person to get paid. We are creatives. We are the last people to get paid. You see this laptop up here? That is because I am recording this podcast and I'm going to do the audio.
Like
you know why I do the audio?
Video on a Polaroid right now. Please buy some t-shirts to support us.
Like, do you know why we can edit videos and audio? Because we can't afford to pay somebody else to do it. Do you know why I am learning how to build websites and code and all that? Because we can't afford to pay somebody to do that shit for us. But that's a prime example of a need being filled. I can do that for this site and this platform, and then turn around and go do it for somebody else's.
Right, it builds your skill base, and once they see the work you put into this, you can turn around and show that, and you have portfolio. And you're like, hey, look what I did here. I have examples of work to show you, and then you turn around and use that.
And that's what people have to learn, is there's plenty of money out here. People need pipes. People need plumbing. People need electric. Those are skills and trade. There are more trade job openings than damn near any other in Alabama, than damn near any other what's the word? Damn near any other job category.
Yeah.
Like trade jobs, plumbing, electrician, welding. Those are skills that aren't going away. Like, I remember when I first got a job in banking, I'm thinking I'm shit because I'm wearing a suit and tie, I'm working 9 to 5. It was this plumber dude. He used to come in every week. The lowest I saw him cash a check for, from his own company to himself, was $4,500. A year and a half working at the same place. The lowest check this dude came in. He was a plumber. That was it. He was a plumber. But he brought home, he cleared about 5 G's a week from his own company, paying himself. One of the biggest, I won't say the name, one of the biggest air conditioning HVAC companies around here, the owner of it retired, passed it on to his son. Son's a complete idiot, but he's making bank because his dad did a fuck ton of work to create that brand, keep that name, and keep those customers. I remember when my mama called him out to fix her AC. I was like, "Oh, you sure you want to use them?" She was like, "Well, they're highly recommended." I said, "Yeah, because the old man was smart, but his son."
Well, you know what? That doesn't matter.
Because a brand is what you need. So when you see the kids wear crowns being ran by little Ron Tavius,
hopefully, we'll see.
No, it's because that a brand was created, mostly by Ryan posting Big Brother stuff.
Yeah, hey man, like let me formally shout out Ryan. Ryan be keeping us afloat, man. So Ryan, I know you're on dad duty right now, but if you watching this, we appreciate it.
Or listening, we appreciate all the stuff you do, because I don't be writing no more. Although
you don't write anymore. What's up with that?
I've been learning to build websites.
Okay, I mean I do stuff too.
I'm in school and I work, man. What you want?
So am I.
You ain't in school.
No, but it.
I don't have much to write about when there's no superhero movies coming out, man.
Yeah.
It's like kind of what I came here for.
I have like this
I don't
shit-
want to be the old. I don't want to be the old guy ranting about how much I hate the new rap albums these days.
Right.
You know, I don't have much to talk about these days.
Cause yeah, this should post sometime. Like if we're like I said, we're recording this Sunday afternoon, so this should post like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll probably have I think I can have like 4 posts lined up for next week. Cause I have some ideas in my head, but I haven't had a chance.
I
to
mean,
type
I
them out.
still have the highest rated post of the year.
And it blows my mind.
Thank Drake. No, seriously, I typed in 92 bricks last night. We're the 3rd result. Even if you just type in 92
Whoa.
bricks into Google, we are on the front page number 3. So every time someone Googles 92 bricks, they see our post even if they don't click it.
Well, please, some rapper out there say, does your bathtub lift up and do a 360? Because I'm about to turn that into a post.
Why though?
I don't know.
I mean, I posted that for Ho's birthday.
Oh yeah, you did.
You know, I didn't like just post that to post it. Like, it was Ho's birthday.
Exactly how big does the scale have to be to
The way
weigh?
the whales.
Right.
That's still one of the hardest.
That
intros
is
of
hard.
the time. Like when it just comes in.
Here we go.
Fuck the frail shit. Cause when my coat come in, they use the same scale they use to weigh the whales. Like that's hard. That's hard.
Even though you know he's lying. But
Of
it's
course
still
he's
hard.
lying. At that point in time, I think the Rough Rider, like the deal that the Locks were in, because they left Bad Boy was like,
Yeah.
Puff got royalties before the Rough Riders got royalties. Then
Wow.
Universal got the royalties.
Wow.
Like it went like Puff, Universal, Rough Riders, then the Locks got it. Like they were, that's why they like went on the radio that time and were like talking about dropping refrigerators on Puff's head. and then Puff called was like, you know what, fine, y'all can be out of y'all contract because y'all so
Yeah, 'cause-
emotional about it.
yeah.
But like they were getting screwed. Like they left Bad Boy and went and Puff was getting a cut of everything before they got it. They solo
Right.
albums, their group albums, everything. He was
Bro, you
getting
don't
everything.
want to see Sheik Luch, man. The worst rapper in the group is the one you don't want to see, and it's definitely Sheik Luch.
Hey, come on, man. I don't want no beef with Sheik.
That's what I'm saying.
And why you dissing Sheik?
I'm not
You
dissing
can't
Sheik.
call him the worst rapper in the group.
Like I didn't say he was bad. I just say he's the worst rapper
I mean,
in the group.
do you want smoke with Sheik Luch?
Absolutely
Do
not.
you want smoke with a man?
He calls himself the silverback gorilla. Of course not.
Do you really want smoke with a dude who still wears a do-rag in public
No.
faithfully?
No, a do-rag and a white beater. No, I do not.
Like, I have nothing but respect for Sheik Luch because any man who is still wearing a do-rag in the year 2018 in
Like,
public
he doesn't even carry
Will-
because he has a knife on.
will harm you. That was actually one of my favorite podcast moments of the year was when they were on Drink Champs. Did you
Yeah,
see that?
yeah, that's all right.
They were talking about they might have to stab
Yeah.
up Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's like, hey, man, we might have to take him.
We might have to poke Mike. And they said Sheik was going to be the sacrificial lamb because he was the biggest dude. Those white people are like enjoying whatever it is that we're saying. Like walking by laughing. They couldn't see anything. Yeah, this was a good idea by the old head who departed us. But
Great idea, yeah.
yeah, we got to get a banner for back here.
Yeah.
So
I think he's earned a producer credit. Yeah.
No, we got to give him one.
Yeah, yeah, producer credit.
We got to give him one. But yeah, we're fucked. Get a passport before they stop letting you get them. Like, because did you see that news report? I don't know how. Well, it's not bigger news because there's so. See, it's kind of genius that there's so much scandal that no scandal is a big
Right,
scandal.
no scandal is a scandal. You don't have time to focus on any one thing because
There-
there's a deluge of just bullshit.
Constant
everything.
shit. Like there were American citizens who, because they had Hispanic heritage, were denied passports.
Right.
So if you do not have a because I gotta go get one. If you do not have one, go get one. Because there might be a time where you gotta use that shit. I said back in 2016, I said, yo, you might want to flee the country at some point. And I was kind of being hyperbolic, but now,
Yeah.
like, I mean, Nas might have been right in belly, man. We might gotta go.
Whoa, okay, let's stop right
We
there.
might gotta go back
Let's
to
stop
Africa,
right
dog. Ghana's nice, man. Have you seen Accra?
I haven't. No.
Oh, let me show you some pictures, dog. Some nice ass houses. Some motherfucking Ghana. My phone. Why are my coworkers texting me when I'm off? I had a Publix sub earlier. I didn't know this shit was that fire.
Bro, you ain't know?
Well, so the first time...
Wait, which one did you get? Please say chicken tender.
The chicken tender, of course.
Oh, my God.
So the first time I went was last week.
Uh-huh.
And I, on my birthday, I went. I was like, all right, you know, I've been working out all week. I was like, I've been good. You know, I'm going to go get me one. But I still got it with the whole wheat bread.
Yeah.
You know, nah. I had to, man. Carbs kill me. But so I went in to get one, and I know they was like hitting in Atlanta like that. So they was like, I ordered it at like 8 o'clock. They said your sub will be ready at 9. I was like, all right, cool. So, you know, I went, got my workout, took a shower, drove. It's like 15 minutes from the house. So I get up there about 8:50. You know what time I walked out there with my sub? 8:45.
Yes. Because the first time I seen them make that sub, I was so... And yes, we're talking about public subs right now.
I mean, but they fired.
But, bro, they grabbed like 12 chicken tenders and just chopped them off.
You get them tossed in a buffalo?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I know you don't eat ranch, but the buffalo ranch...
Yeah, I'm not a ranch fan. But, like... But it was fire.
Toxic masculinity.
And so I remember I just don't like the flavor of ranch. So I was in there and like, you know, we talking to the people behind the line. I said, yo, what's the hold up, man? Like, you know, at this point it's like 9-10. Like, where my sub at?
Yeah.
Like, Publix is known for great service. So, you know, I ain't tripping about 5 minutes you being behind.
Right.
10 minutes? Like, come on. So he like, man, somebody ordered like 6-7 subs. So some dude come walking in. And he like, man, what's the hold up, man? I'm like, man, somebody ordered like 5-6 subs. He like, and I hate when people do that. He was the nigga that ordered 5 or 6.
Of course. Okay, but they're like, man, that's wild.
So of course they come walking out, the person back there by themselves come walking out with an armful of stuff, and he come walking up, take every one of them. I'm looking at him like, you bum. So I walked there at 9:45 with my damn sub. Where is
But man, here's the cheat code. Okay.
They got a beautiful ass city there. And one of the beautiful things about Ghana is they actually offer dual citizenship to anyone.
Oh yeah. No, I do know that.
Yeah, that they were a part of the diaspora, which niggas. They actually will grant you full citizenship, but the only person who's received that is like Bob Marley's widow or something. It's some famous person's widow.
Yeah, I tried out for the national team in 06. I didn't make it, so it's all good.
I mean, niggas have been saying you African for like the last 15 years on the internet.
I can't escape it, man. Like niggas like real deal.
The Aquagon is beautiful. If the shit goes down, that's where your boys move. I'm gonna take everything I got in savings. Say fuck them student loans. Hey, did you know like that's
the thing? Like people are leaving the country.
White people are going to Europe, getting jobs, and not paying back their student loans. That's why the student loan bubble exists. Because middle class white kids are going to Europe and saying fuck they student loans.
Fucking loans.
Like that's ill to me. That is ill to me. That is crazy. But do we got shit else? We're fucked people.
Let's wrap this up. How do we fix this, Albert? Before we leave, how do we fix this?
Get your ass out and vote.
That's it.
Get out, vote. And if voting don't work, I would advise some of you people who look like us to move around people that look like us, if you catch my drift. Because if you've been on one of them neighborhood apps, you might find your neighbors don't really like you.
Yeah.
And they probably ain't too shy about showing it. And if your ass live in Alabama, as someone who worked at a sporting goods store for several years.
We both worked there?
Yeah, for several years, I can tell you, these white folks got guns. A lot of them. And a lot of ammunition.
We could do a whole episode on how easy it is to buy a gun in America.
Oh, hey,
you
look.
could do it in the checkout line and get the gun license at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Quicker than if you're buying a barrel of baseballs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's amazing. Like, look, listen, when Obama got elected, let me tell you how bad it was. When he won the nomination, I worked at a sporting goods store on 280. The vast majority of our customers were people who lived south of 280.
Yeah,
so like south of Chelsea.
Yeah, you don't gotta say much, man. Yeah.
White people who live south of Chelsea. They were coming in. It was so bad. So it used to be when people would come in, because I worked up front as a customer service manager, they'd be like, hey, someone has a gun. You walk them back to the gun counter. It got so bad. Me and like the other 4 black people that worked there were told, please do not come back to the gun counter because we don't want to have a situation. There were people buying assault rifles, 2 and 3 at a time. Ammunition by the caseload, 2 and 3 7-foot gun safes at a time. These people got weapons. When the shit goes down, I'd rather be around people that look like me than people that look like them. Y'all want them good schools so bad? So them folks stop pretending that they ain't in the Klan. I know it sounds a little paranoid, but I was called paranoid when I said Donald Trump might win in 2016, and we should all be really afraid.
Any paranoia you may feel is not paranoia. It's totally justified.
I am willing to admit that I am paranoid because my brain immediately goes to the worst case scenario.
You go to the worst situation, but
I've been correct.
I think between both of us, me being the hopelessly optimistic one, and you being paranoid, we meet somewhere in the middle,
right?
And we can both agree that we're kind of fucked right now. So
we're absolutely fucked. Yeah. So if you don't get a passport, start buying guns, start buying ammunition, keep some cash on you, and hope for the best. And move around some niggas.
And hopefully, if this country does, and hopefully it happens before that Carnage movie comes out. And that's a wrap.
Before what?
The Carnage movie comes out.
I kind of want to see that.
Nah, I don't. I definitely don't.
I kind of want to see that. But until next time. Ryan doesn't have a Twitter because he's too good for Twitter. I'm almost.
I'm not too good for Twitter. Everybody's just stupid.
I'm almost to the point where I'm too good for Twitter. You can follow me at 4 eyes Roman numeral 4 which is ID_eyes. You can follow me on there. Follow us at the KWC blog on Twitter. Log on to thekidswearcrowns.com. Buy a t-shirt or something, bro.
Buy a t-shirt.
We're migrating the site soon. What are we doing?
I'm about to work on that this week, actually.
All right, so we're migrating the site soon. I can actually help you.
Bigger, better site. It's going to look really nice.
Well, and in a couple months, I'm gonna be adding some shit that makes it even bigger and better. And hopefully, we'll have an app soon. But log on to the site, buy a t-shirt. Log on to 2200trim.com if you are in the need for a barber, Bryson. Please. No, actually, I think Bryson found a new barber.
Okay.
I think he finally stopped going to that barber.
Because he was in an abusive relationship.
But if you 2200trim.com, log on to the site, schedule you an appointment with one of the fine barbers here. T, you want to come on camera and say anything? While you over there staring all crazy?
Well, I ain't gonna come on camera. Well, I will hell wait.
You on camera. So you
Yeah,
might as well.
yeah, you on camera.
You might as well. You might as
on
well.
camera, yeah.
You might as well.
Let me go on here.
Don't knock nothing over, cuz.
I
This is my barber, T.
What's happening?
Log on 2200trip.com. Book you a haircut. Some of the finest people you will meet in a barber shop in Birmingham.
Some of the 5 barbers in Birmingham.
Yeah, absolutely. My hairline has been on life support since about 2014.
He keeping it alive.
And he was the only one that was keeping it alive.
Yeah.
And I finally had to.
Call him up,
I finally had to get the Kobe when he went to the 24 jersey.
Yeah.
Except I don't think I wanted no championship.
Yeah, that arm haircut. You see that?
You just gonna put the light on it.
I don't know you, Hakeem, and the Raptors jersey right
Hey,
now.
come on, fam. Come on, fam. So, anyways, we'll be doing some more stuff with these gentlemen over here. That shit kind of cute. Y'all can't see what we're looking at. But we had to face the camera this way because we don't want to get sued if we ever get famous off this shit. But we'll be back doing some more stuff with them. We got some more cool stuff coming. But until next time, peace.
Politics as usual.